Hi, my name is Kyle Kassler, and I work for the Stevens Initiative. The Stevens Initiative is an international effort to build global competence for young people in the United States and the Middle East and North Africa through virtual exchange. The Stevens Initiative is sponsored by the U.S. Department of State and administered by the Aspen Institute. The initiative supports many different virtual exchange programs, and our team is committed to offering alumni of those programs, like you, resources so you can continue to learn, grow, and work in your communities. Today, I'm excited to talk to you about a resource that you can use as an alum of the Stevens Initiative Virtual Exchange Program. That resource is called the International Exchange Alumni Network. The International Exchange Alumni Network comes from the U.S. Department of State, Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, and was created for alumni of all of their many different exchange programs. Since they sponsor the Stevens Initiative, and the Stevens Initiative supported your program, you have access to this network. You might wonder, what is the International Exchange Alumni Network exactly, and how can it be a resource for me? Well, the International Exchange Alumni Network is more than just a website. It's a portal to community, to professional networks, and to resources. Open to alumni of all U.S. government-sponsored exchange programs, it is an interactive global community where exchange alumni can share ideas, post updates and events, empower themselves with resources and funding, and be inspired. Want to know what resources are available on the network? Let's go over some of what you'll find. You should know that what I'm about to say is just an overview. There are lots of resources and ways to connect on the network, so be sure to go in and explore the platform and to learn about everything that you can access. On the network, you will find, first, access to millions of dollars in grant and funding opportunities. You should explore the different options that match your unique needs and circumstances. Number 2, you can find for professional development opportunities, including jobs, mentorships, and fellowship resources. Third, access over 20,000 news articles, periodicals, and academic journals for free through the e-library. Next, you can also connect and collaborate with over 500,000 global exchange alumni. You can also tap into entrepreneurship resources provided by the U.S. government. You can stay up to date on alumni news and featured highlights and stories. And you can also sign up for the alumni newsletter to learn about special events. It's important to know that access to the network is not automatic. There are a couple of steps that you need to take before you can log on to access everything that I just talked about. After you complete your virtual exchange program, you should look for an email invitation from the Department of State. The email address will end with state.gov and will be an invitation to join the International Exchange Alumni Network. In the email, there will be a unique link inviting you to join. You should click on that link and then set up your account and profile at alumni.state.gov to get started. If you don't receive this email or can't find it, reach out to us to make sure we can get you connected. You should email us at stevensalumni@aspeninstitute.org and include your name, the name of your virtual exchange program, and the year you participated to get the process started. The network isn't all the Department of State offers to Stevens Initiative alumni. There are other opportunities and resources as well. If you are an alum living in the Middle East or North Africa region, you should make sure you stay engaged with your local U.S. Embassy and/or consulate. There are opportunities to network with exchange alumni from other exchange programs. Reach out to your local contact at the embassy or consulate. These local officials can support you if you would like to apply for the annual Alumni Engagement Innovation Fund. This competition supports innovative, alumni-initiated projects and harnesses the leadership capacity of exchange program alumni in the region. When you reach out to your local embassy, you open up the opportunity to be invited to Alumni Thematic International Exchange Seminars, which we also call Alumni Ties events. Alumni Ties are thematic seminars where participants tackle key regional issues, receive training, and collaborate with fellow alumni to implement community projects for their home communities. For alumni in the United States, there are also opportunities for you. The Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund is an opportunity for alumni to apply for funding for community projects here in the United States. There are also alumni ties seminars for US-based alumni too. Find out information for all of these opportunities on the International Exchange Alumni platform or at www.alumni.state.gov. Also, all alumni should check out the Mentor Talks, a new virtual series that puts exchange alumni in touch with extraordinary mentors on a variety of topics. These talks can be found on the International Exchange Alumni Facebook page. Connect with the International Exchange Alumni Network and the alumni team at the Department of State on social media. You can find them on Facebook at International Exchange Alumni and on Twitter at Exchange Alumni. Tag them using hashtag Exchange Alumni when you comment or post. You can always share this information with your fellow virtual exchange alumni and connect with us at thestevensinitiative.org and click the subscribe button or follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Now that I've given a brief overview of the network and other resources, I want to move on to an interview and conversation with Crystal Hill, a regional alumni coordinator from the Department of State, the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. Crystal and her team work hard to provide support, like the International Exchange Alumni Network, to alumni from all the different exchange programs from the Department of State. And we're really excited to share this conversation with you. We are here for the interview portion of this recording. We have Crystal Hill. She is a regional alumni coordinator for the U.S. Department of State, the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. Welcome, Crystal.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
So we're really happy to bring you in to be able to talk a little bit about the International Exchange Alumni Network. So I think to kick it off, maybe you can talk a little bit about the office you represent that produced the International Exchange Alumni Network, and maybe share some of the goals that you all have.
Sure. Again, I'm Crystal Hill, and I work in the Office of Alumni Affairs in the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. So what my office does is we work to support all U.S. government-sponsored exchange alumni, and that means whether it's international alumni as well as U.S. domestic alumni. So we are the advisors to our colleagues on the ground who work the local U.S. embassies and consulates. Basically, we work to further their engagement in building the relationship with alumni once they complete their program, whether it's traveling abroad or traveling within countries. So once they return home, or like Stevens, having virtual exchange, because I think that's very important. That is considered an exchange.
Yeah.
So what we do is we connect with our colleagues on the ground to further build the relationships with alumni by providing opportunities for programming, events and activities that engage alumni, as well as grant opportunities. Alumni are very interested in grant opportunities. And then we also do specialized programming for alumni from Washington as well.
Okay, awesome. It's a lot of work, but I know that I'm really excited, and I think our Stevens Initiative alumni are really excited that your office exists and provides those resources and opportunities. And so the one we're here to talk about today is the International Exchange Alumni Network. And so maybe you could give us a little bit of background so we can understand, like, why did your office or the Department of State create the network? And for you all, like, what's it all about?
Sure. So we've had alumni to date back to way until like the early 1940s, 50s. And there was no set mechanism in engaging with those alumni. You fast forward to like 10, 15 years ago, our office decided that we needed some type of resource where we can further build the relationship and engage with alumni while they're at home. Because, you know, when they're on their exchange, they get so jazzed up and they want to, you know, share out. They want to connect with their peers. And we want it to be the vehicle to provide that convening factor for alumni to stay engaged, not only with us, but with each other. So I think that's the main goal of the website, is being that global community where alumni can connect and engage, and then there's, of course, resources on the website that are tailored towards the needs of alumni themselves.
That's really great. I think that reminds me of something that I like to tell alumni, that even though your exchange, particularly for Stephen's initiative, like your virtual exchange, just because it ends doesn't mean that we're finished with you.
Exactly.
Right? The network is a great place to say, this is a place where you can still engage and connect, and we'll bring you together. Yeah. So something that surprised me about what you just said was that the network has been around for 10 or 15 years. I didn't know it was around for that long. What do you think is something that usually surprises alumni about the network?
Oh, there's a lot of surprises on the website. Again, the website doesn't really function as like your typical social media, Facebook, Twitter, but there's a ton of great resources on the website. We have a e-library where there's over 20,000 e-publications. A lot of our alumni are still in school. A lot of our alumni are pursuing higher education, so I think that's a great resource for them to utilize.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, they have subscriptions on the e-library where you can access academic journals, magazines, and newspaper subscriptions that are free of charge. So I think that's, something that alumni appreciate. They don't have to pay for those resources. I think alumni actually like to see that they're not only receiving resources from the U.S. government, because we do have a grants database that allows funding from other resources and other organizations, not only just the U.S. government, on the website.
Oh, cool. And so I'm surprised by those too, because I didn't know those things either. So I think that's great. So those are surprising. I wonder, when we've talked about the network before, it's always mentioned that it's a community, a place for alumni to connect. I wonder if you can tell me about a recent success or a way that you've seen alumni connect using the network.
Yeah, I think one of the major features on the website is that alumni get the opportunity to apply for the Alumni Engagement Innovation Fund competition. While that application process has changed, there is a great resource for alumni to connect and engage with one another, because through that competition, you'll have to work in teams. So that means you'll have to work with at least one other alumni member, and it does not necessarily have to be in your specific country. So I think using the website is a great way for you to reach out to other alumni that may be across the world from you, who may have participated in your particular program, who may have shared interests. So using that feature on the website is always beneficial.
Yeah, I think that's really great. I would love to see in the future a Stevens Initiative alum from the United States working with an alum in Jordan or in Tunisia, or even an alum in Tunisia working with an alum in Morocco. So I think that the network provides a way for those people to connect, even if they had, let's say, for example, different virtual exchanges.
Exactly.
They can still connect. I think that's really great.
Yeah.
Or even if the alum didn't, one alum didn't do a virtual exchange, one alum went on a different exchange program. I think that would be a really awesome opportunity to connect.
And again, the website gives alumni the opportunity to meet others that they may not have ever had the opportunity to meet, because again, like you said, one person may have gone on a traditional exchange while another person may have just participated in a virtual exchange.
Yeah, that's really great. I know that sometimes when I go to use websites that I face challenges. Maybe I don't understand how to use the website, or I can't figure out how to make one particular aspect work. What are some common challenges that alumni face when they want to use this network, and what's some support that you all provide for those challenges?
Yeah, just like any other website or technologies oftentimes fail us. So there are some difficulties when you navigate through the website, and that's mainly because of the template that we use. But again, we always encourage alumni, if they're having any type of technical difficulties, if they can't log into their account, if they are getting a broken link from something on the website, to reach out to us at exchangealumni.state.gov. Tell us what the issue is, technical, or if there's any issues going on with your account itself. To reach out to us, we're happy to help. We're happy to address any challenges that you're experiencing. We're working on the website, so we're trying to revamp some of the user-friendly functions on the website. So bear with us.
Yeah.
We are not the experts, but we are working with our development team to make the website better. So we would love to hear feedback from you on how we can do that and better assist, or address your needs.
Yeah, I think it's great. What better person to get feedback from than alumni who are using the site?
Exactly.
But also, it's just so great for our alumni to know that even if they run into some trouble, that there's someone there, like your team, there to support them get over that challenge. And so you said that exchange.state.gov, right?
Exchangealumni.state.gov.
So she corrected me. Exchangealumni.state.gov.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, cool. Something that we haven't talked about yet, when alumni log into the platform, are there certain opportunities, let's say like a grant opportunity or a certain e-library function that isn't available to them because of where they live? Or when an alumni logs on, is everything they see, is that for them?
So we do have resources that are geared towards more international alumni, and then we have specific resources that are available to our domestic U.S. alumni. Whatever you see when you log onto the website, whatever resources that you see on the site, they are available to you.
Great. Cool.
We basically have resources that are tailored towards. We try to tailor all of our resources to every alumni, no matter where they are. If there's any particular opportunity that you're interested in and you don't see it on the website, let us know. But for the most part, all of the resources, whether it's the e-library, the grants database, the news section on the website, it's open to everyone.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful just to know that when, let's say I'm an alum in Tunisia and I log on and I know that any of the stuff that I see, I can either apply to or use or read. I don't have to wade through this is not for me. So I think that's really helpful to know that once an alumni logs on, what they see is up for grabs.
Exactly, it's up for grabs.
Great. I think I wonder, or I'm curious, do you think there are some aspects of the website that are overlooked? They're probably, I know you said alumni are always interested in grants, and probably they log on and immediately go to look at grants.
Yes.
But I wonder, is there another part of the network that is overlooked by alumni?
Yeah, there's a few. So I definitely think that alumni don't really take advantage of the alumni directory. And I think that's the easiest way in which you could connect with other alumni on the website. In that feature on the website, you can look at alumni that are in your particular country, who've gone on your particular program, if you're interested. If you're interested in a particular field, if you're more so interested in studying more about STEM education, or if you have a project that features education and you want to connect with alumni who either has an interest in education or is working in the education field, you can filter using the directory to find those specific alumni.
Great.
Once you find those alumni, you can actually send them a message to connect with them. So I think that's a great feature, and as well as the alumni events section on the website, where alumni themselves post some of the events and activities that they're working on, whether it's a project or if it's their organization that are hosting any activities. And if you're interested in lending your time to support those activities or projects, I think it's good to see what's happening in your country, see what other alumni are working on. So definitely check that section out on the website as well.
Okay, I think that's helpful for alumni not to get tunnel vision and only go to one area,
Exactly.
but to really explore around and see what all is there. I think
It's
that's
a
great.
ton of things on the website where alumni can, just take a look and see what's on there. Again, I mentioned that there's a alumni news section on the website. If you want to see what alumni have been working on, see some of the successes of alumni themselves, that's a great way to kind of catch up and see, maybe a Stevens Initiative
Yeah.
alumnus or alumna has done some major impactful projects or activities in their country that you would want to read up on.
Yeah, I think definitely you'll see some if
Yes.
you go look. That's great. So just to wrap up, maybe let's say we're talking to an alum of the Stevens Initiative who hasn't been on the network before. What advice would you give to that particular alum who's using the platform for the first time?
My advice would be to take your time, kind of go through, get a feel of what the website offers, look at every section of the site. I know that it's a lot on there to digest, but, just don't look at one resource. Just don't go to the library if you're only interested at that moment on newspaper subscriptions. Take a look again on the section where you can learn about what other alumni are doing. Think about how you can use that directory to engage with other alumni.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you don't really necessarily have a plan when you go on certain websites, but think about what your goal is when you go on the site. Are you looking for opportunities for your professional development? Are you looking to just connect and engage with other alumni? Or you don't really know what you're looking for, so you're just going to go on the site? I mean, that's fine. Just take your time, go through everything, and you don't have to browse in one setting. Log in, see what's on the site, see what you're interested in, and then maybe come back the next day and look at something new.
Yeah, because I think you've told me before that there are resources on there for alumni at all different times in life. So maybe you log on, you explore something, you need something today, but then in a year, 2 years, you come back on, you say, oh, I need this resource now. For example, when I first logged on, I wasn't in school or in my graduate program, but now I am. Oh, and they have this access to this journal. That's good for me now. Okay.
Exactly. And as an alumni member, you're a member for life. So you don't have to use it your first year. You can use it whenever.
Yeah,
so
that's
great. A good thing about it. The website is going to always be there.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to say thank you for taking the time to come in and talk to us about this. And also thank you to your office for providing this great resource for our Stevens Initiative alumni. So hopefully this recording will help them learn a little bit more about it and get excited to go in and explore. So thanks again.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I encourage you all to use the website. It's great.
Great. All right, thanks.